Hello, everybody. My name is Jared Weathers, and welcome back to the Weathers Media Podcast. It's been a while since we put up a new episode, but I'm very excited for this. Um, if you're listening to this on like Spotify or anything, I want everyone to know I did try to put it on Pandora. It still has not been approved yet, so I'm still waiting for that. Yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Obviously, it's a part two to an interview I already did, and I always like doing part twos of that kind of stuff. Just it feels like there's more to it. You know what I mean? So we're gonna bring him in, the man of the hour, the man with the power, Jake Howell. Jake, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad. It's been a good minute. It's been a
I'm
while.
gonna bring this up. There you go.
That's just, yeah. I
All right,
can't wait for this. It's been a we got some we got some stuff to do.
we got
We
some
got
we
some
got some
stuff.
stuff to talk
We
about.
we got some stuff to talk about.
All right, for those who don't know, I did a podcast with Jake. Oh, Jesus, I don't even remember when it was now. It's been a while, though. It's been at least a year, right?
No. I I mean it was probably in the July August time. Maybe before
Was
that.
it?
I don't know. It's been a blur since then. So like I can hardly recall. But I know it was sometime when we were just getting started.
It was March 14th.
March 14th, the same day that Plankton
March
had
14th.
his plan in the SpongeBob movie.
That's right.
Let's see, it's only
Yeah.
Plan Z is going to work this time.
So,
But
so it's been 9 months.
9 months.
Almost 10 months since we did an interview.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
Mm.
Um. So last time I don't think we talked about it as much. So let's get into it. When was your what went into the idea of UWA?
Well, I would say the first inkling in my head, I've actually never told this anywhere public before, this part of the story. Like the proper idea and going out there was, like thinking about it was in January of 21. But the first time I ever properly maybe thought about the option, it was a moment at the place we shall not name,
Mhm.
where a certain man was bragging about how there was no competition. We're safe forever because no one would ever dare open anything else up because they're scared of us. Well, then
Interesting.
everything fell into place. Everything kind of came about in January. I got out of there. Mental health was getting better. Checking on myself. Spent a week somewhere else away from home, trying to get myself in shape, and I did. And that's when I was like, okay, well then, what's this thing going to be called? Because obviously, anything with the name Tennessee in it's going to be kind of redundant.
Right.
Because you want to have a bigger outreach than Tennessee. Tennessee's in the lower middle part of the country. There's no really people can't relate to Tennessee as much because it is a very polarizing state.
It is.
So I thought, okay, what is something that is cool? And the original name was Fighting Spirit Wrestling, FSW. But then I realized at the level that we're at, I don't want it to seem like we're trying to play professional. We aren't professional.
Right.
That's this big stress thing. And like I knew I didn't want it to be backyard because there needed to be a step up. I love backyard wrestling. I love it to death. But I personally in my heart I felt that we could go outside of that realm and do something that at least in our area and the area surrounding it had never been done.
Right.
So the first person I called up was CJ. He was the first one signed. He was the first one on the dotted line. And then it was getting Robbie. Then it was getting Mike, Joe, the Virginia boys, and of course yourself. And with that came together months of building to it under, I changed my Instagram handle to New Beginning, and it was just for months just teasing the arrival of something. And then in March, I revealed it to be me and that something was going to happen. And I was going to make an appearance in Indiana to wrestle when the day before I'm about to leave, my mother announced she had a tumor to me, which kind of set this whole thing back. So I had the idea in my mind. I was working 9 to 5, trying to make good money so we can get the ring. And in that time, it was hell. It was, okay, maybe hell's a strong word, but it was just more so of backstabbing, politics, egos, a political hierarchy at a grocery store, which is the most redundant thing I've ever heard in my entire life. And seriously, that's a whole other thing into itself that should be mentioned. But after the money was saved, after the order was made, and we probably waited about 3 months to get it.
It was something like that. I remember it was a while.
It wasn't, and that's an understandable waiting time. That gave us plenty of time to plan. The belt, the world title was bought. A belt that's not been seen yet was bought, and the Southern title was bought, and then we had everything ready for July. Then, everything came together, and it's been a long time, and I've learned a lot, good and bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
And it's already been, like 6 months since UWA started?
Yes. And in that time, there's been a lot of things that have happened. There have been people who've come in, people who have come out. I had to retire.
Yeah.
Which
we will get to.
That, yes, because I want to clear some things up about it.
Yeah.
But, we right now we're trying to, we have a taping at the time of this recording. It'll be the next weekend. And we're hoping to, maybe step ourselves up. We are over 130 subscribers now. We reached that goal.
Awesome.
Which, when the hundreds happened, that was such a great day for all of us. That was just like, okay, we're making a difference here. But it was just been crazy. This little thing that could, and it happened, and I'm grateful for it every day.
So I was there at the first show, the first tapings.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was. Tell me what was going through your mind leading up to that day and during that day.
Wow, we're actually doing this. Wow, we're actually going to do this. My thoughts were, this is either going to go really good or this is either going to go really bad. Because I never met you guys. I had barely even met myself at that point. I was taking on many different hats, getting everything together. And just in that time, it was just kind of a trust building process. It was kind of, are you guys willing to put in the work? And I made it clear. And I still say this to people who come in now. I said this quote: that ring is a blank canvas. You guys and myself, we are the painters. We are going to paint that like we're going to paint a picture on that canvas, and then I'll hang the frame on the wall, and we move on to the next picture. And that's what it is. It's a freedom-based thing. I'm not going to sit there and tell people what exactly to say.
Right.
The finishes are something different. We do work the finishes together. But it's, you have the reins here to make yourself, invent yourself, be yourself. I don't necessarily want a gimmick as much as want the person inside. Best example of that is CJ. That's the best example. Everyone is a good example. CJ is the best example. He'll bitch on me for telling this, but he was.
Let's go.
he was nervous as anything going into all of it because he'd never been on camera. And he's like, I have this character idea that I've always wanted to do. And when you interview him, depending on what you get, because he's a scary guy, he's complicated guy. Yeah. You know that better than anybody. But he was a nervous wreck. But the moment that because I got to find a picture. I could put it like on screen during this, like in post production. But the first time that he had the mask on, and the first picture of him, and it was like, it was life like breathe into me. It was like, yes, that's it. And but you just give people the canvas, you give people the brush, and it's a good, like, it's worked for us so far. The only time I'd say it didn't work was with one guy, but that's not here or we're there. But one blemish on a record is not going to hurt anybody. But it's But like that day when it all came together, and everybody was there, and it was tangible. Now I go back and look at Unleashed, and I'm like, oh my God, what was I thinking with the editing? The logo's outside of the thing. Oh my God. And I'm like, that would never happen now.
Right.
But it was the freshly open can that I think a lot of us needed.
Yeah.
To push the envelope and try it. That being said, booking a Royal Rumble type thing is very hard to do. Like that day was just rushing around, a lot of cuts, some funny moments. The buzzsaw almost falling out of the ring and Joe having to help him when the cameras were off. That was a good one. That was, oh goodness. Of course, the monkeys were there. And everybody just being at the top of their game. And then the following thing was the Warfare taping, which very good taping. Very good taping. I had one of my favorite matches with Logan. I loved that match. It was a good story told.
Good match. I like that.
I liked it because I played the de facto heel and I worked on the leg. It's like very old school wrestling like. Yeah. But when that was all said and done, I was like, yep, we have the foundation and we're going to go with it. But I think one of the first major like roadblocks was when I had to leave in August for mom's surgery. A lot of things happened on that trip and I didn't like it. And from there, it kind of got muddied with some of the people. And, now we are on a good plane of like, we're balancing what are we trying to be? And I think we're on that way. But that day was a beautiful day. It was a wonderful day.
So I know I got your thoughts on the day, but I have to ask again for everyone who watches this. The promo between me and ET on that first Warfare.
Oh no.
There was more to it that you guys didn't see.
There was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Now it did get lost. It did get lost. There's another funny story that probably you don't know. Speaking of like lost stuff, we'll tell that in a little bit. But that got lost. But these two, Lord, if there was another camera, you would have thought it was two people preaching to each other. It got so personal that I was sitting behind the camera going, I look over to CJ, who's just standing over there, and I'm like, hey, you seeing that shit? Him being him, he went, yeah. And y'all went at it. That was y'all went at it. But like what we had was pretty good, like what got shown. But what we didn't have shown was even better. And
I agree.
all those there I want to go up on a little side tangent. Speaking of like lost footage,
Yeah.
there was an entire match that got lost.
Really?
Yes, and everybody was okay with it. You know, it was just like a big mistake. But we were all cool with it. It was a match between me and Buzzsaw Billy.
Oh.
That match was probably the most hard hitting match of my career. The Mayhem match also was very hard hitting, but that one was just stiff shots. This was hard hitting and how hard that we went. There was a top rope belly to belly suplex spot.
Wow.
Now I had the finish to the match still.
No.
Me and my white ass shorts and my Misfits t-shirt and my mustache at the time.
Oh yeah.
But that got deleted, and because you were on Buzzsaw like, it ain't no worries, man. Ain't no worries. We can do it over. But then he got injured and he got sick, and we're now we can't do it over. But CJ was the only one that saw the match.
Wow.
So he's the one that he can probably tell you all about it. But I hardly remember it because I just at that time that was a messed up time for me.
Yeah.
But that was some good footage with you in ET.
I saw behind in the entranceway. I saw Logan and I saw Robbie.
Oh yeah.
No. Yeah, that was so funny.
I was sitting beside Logan behind the camera, just like going. I was beside Logan. CJ's in the corner. Robbie's Robbie's standing beside Logan. I think J Phil was somewhere off doing something else.
Yeah, J Phil was somewhere in there. I didn't see him.
Joe at that point had left. He was tired.
Yeah.
I know. I think Mayhem might have come by. No, he didn't come by.
I think he came by, but I think it was after that, wasn't it?
Yeah,
just hanging
but
out.
Just the reaction was great.
I loved it.
Great reaction, but
I loved it so much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we go from the first tapings with all of us there to about half of us there. The next show, I'm sorry, I can't remember. What was the next show after that?
After those two tapings?
Yeah.
It was, I know it was Another Warfare, but I can't recall what was on it.
Neither can I.
Like, I can go back and look, but I know I was there.
Right.
I think we're just getting, I think it was actually more stuff between me and Mayhem and, like Mike and Billy, probably. I think it was like
I want to say so.
It was Mike and Billy and like my promo. That's what it was. Just that, like, okay, I would say from ending of July to ending of August, going into September, was the scariest part of not exactly knowing what to do and the tools that you have. You work with what you have. We don't have fancy cameras. We don't have fancy lighting. We don't have that. We just have a dream and we go out there and we do it. That's just what we do. But that period was just kind of me sitting there like a little ball of 10-step up energy and insecurity, kind of like my legs over here just going, okay, what's next? What's going to happen? And shit was hitting the fan. And yeah, that was, say that all changed when CJ won the title.
Yeah.
Because Joe had a great reign. Joe defended it in some really good matches. He was popping off for like a good period of time.
Yeah.
But I think it was the shock of CJ winning. Because I think everyone they expected Joe to retain.
Right. Because he did. He retained 5 or 6 times. So
he had 6 retentions.
Yeah.
Good track record.
Oh yeah.
And it was really good decision. I have to credit Mike for that.
When was the decision made to go with CJ?
About a few days beforehand.
Really? That
It
close
was
to it?
very short notice. It was because the belt was going to be on Mike. He was going to beat Joe on the first round.
Okay.
But
Right.
Mike pulled out of that and it said, "There's one person you got to go with because he gets the most attention." And I'm like, "You're right." It's like he was the second choice to win it at the Battle Royal.
Right. Yeah.
It just came down to right now. I want to see what he can do. I mean, some say he should have won it the Battle Royal, but like we would have been fine either way. Yeah, you were a big proponent.
I was like the number one cheerleader for him winning it that day.
Now,
I was there on that day
yes.
saying he should be the champion.
Now, at that time, we had not seen him in the ring. That was his first time being in the ring.
Yes.
But I think we could already tell there was something there. Of course, he had a little bit of ways to go. He would say that to you himself. He had a long way to go. That's why we kept giving him Hefe, and we kept giving him Pogo, and we kept giving him people who he could work with. Yes, like his matches kept getting more and more longer because he had to get used to the cardio of it all.
Right.
And he was learning himself. He learned not to wrestle as himself. He learned how to wrestle with CJ.
Right.
And you see that now. He has it down.
Yeah.
Especially the casket match with Anderson. That was probably the time that he really solidified himself. We went out with a bang. Oh my God. But yeah, I mean, he won it.
Yeah.
He won it. Your wish came true. He won it.
It did. It did come true. A little late for me, but you know what? It came true.
Little late,
but
I think it came at the right time.
I agree.
Because if we would have put on him back then he would have had to lose it sooner.
Right.
He would have had to have a different run.
Yeah.
Things would be a lot different right now, like the storyline wise. A lot of things had to change because of my accident.
Right.
That changed the storyline a lot. But he's having a good reign. That's all that matters.
So,
I'm really proud of him.
We should probably get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Why you had to retire.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to push you into anything. You can be as honest as you want to be.
Okay.
But take me through the timeline of how this happened.
All right. So now, as much things as I can't remember, I remember this whole thing vividly. It didn't happen that long ago, but it feels like a lifetime ago, but I can still remember everything. Me and Mike are going over the match. You know, just being ourselves, like we're two rowdy bastards, you know?
Right, yeah.
Like we're crazy. And we get in the match. Okay. Have you seen what happened?
No.
I'll show you later what exactly caused it, but it was a test of strength.
Mm-hmm.
And his knee came up, like knee in the gut to stop test of strength. But I'm gonna get NSOW here, folks. Just gonna see something, but about right there, it's my sternum, and it was a very hard hit. It got me. It fucking got me, and I went down, and then he got me in a kind of a shooter front face lock and got me over for like a DDT, but promise I spiked myself on the way down. So add to it, the breathing problems were starting to set in, and the head stuff. You'll see me. He has me like a guillotine lock, and I'm trying to feel my way around. Like, where am I in the ring right now? Then I feel the rope. I'm like, okay. Then the match goes on like usual. I didn't feel anything. But it was after the match when I was like, oh shit, oh no, like I could barely breathe, and I know that I went to my mom's work and I went to my girlfriend's house. Those two places, still wearing my bright ass blue sweatpants and my Sega Jake Howell shirt. You know, because like Rachel, when she heard about it, was like, "Please come to me. I want to check on you."
Right.
Spent that night watching Robin Hood Men in Tights. That was a good night, but pretty much a week went by and nothing had happened.
Mhm.
Like nothing was going on. I felt good. And so Max Chaos came into the company.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to have his first match. But a few days before that was when all of it started to happen. It was the breathing problems. It hurt to eat. And whenever I did eat, it would come back up. Bathroom problems were happening because of that, which like relates to later. Actually, like relates to right now, but we're going to get to that. And I had the match with Chaos. Looking back on it, it wasn't a bad match. I played the heel, like the big brooding heel, and I tried to make him look good. But in my head, I knew this might be your last one. This might be the last. Then, probably the day after my 20th birthday, I went to the doctor. They X-rayed me, and okay, I know you're not like a spiritual person, but I couldn't sleep the whole day before because I was just in pain. I was in the shower that morning. I really couldn't stand because I was so tired and I was hurting. So I was just kind of laying down, like fetal position in the shower, just kind of thinking this could be it. And just something told me, in like a peaceful way, just like something washed over me, and it was like, it's your time to stop wrestling, but you'll be fine. And that's how it's been. I announced my retirement, and I was sad about it. I didn't cry until after it, and I get a little bit emotional about it, but then there came the controversy. I'll admit I was mad at Mike because I thought he had malicious intent. This is around the time there was another scandal. It was revealed that Mike and another person were leaking information back to the ones that we don't talk about.
The ones who shall not be named.
Because they don't deserve to be named. And
True.
And we had all of us speculated that he might have done it on purpose, but we weren't quite sure. And now that's a ridiculous thought to think. We were all just kind of wound up about it. And since then, I've said, and I'm going to say it publicly. I'm going to look into the camera right now and say it. It wasn't his fault. It was not his fault. He apologized like profusely. We still somewhat keep in touch. He still checks on me, and that's what a man should do. And I'm proud, because he still is a friend. Like the relationship's kind of softened a little bit because of all that happened, but it's just like, keep on. I'm sorry about what happened. I'm like, it is what it is. But then about 2 weeks ago, I watched it back again because I was like, okay, there has to be something wrong because I'm still having these troubles with like my digestive system and my eating, and like food will hurt after I eat it. So I barely ate. I lost about 10 pounds in 2 weeks. Like right now I'm 210. I've never been 210. But then it was like, I think you have an ulcer. I think when he hit you, you got an ulcer. Then I start taking ulcer medication and it stopped. And I couldn't really. Okay, sure. It's my dad. Cameo by my dad. I love my dad. Shout out to the dads. All the dads are good. But
all dads.
Well, not all, but okay. There are dads and there are fathers. Shout out to the fathers. Fathers.
Yes.
Okay. But
True.
that's settled now. And it sucks that I can't be in the ring. There was going to be some really cool plans that were going to happen if I wasn't retired right now. The plan was for me to be CJ's next feud, and we had that match. That match with CJ was one of my favorite too. We tested each other, and he was the first one to reach out. He was the first one to kind of say, "Hey, come on over. Let's just talk it out." And spent the whole day just playing SmackDown 2 and just eating goldfish and fucking around and just talking and everybody had my back. The community went crazy because all of a sudden it was fuck Little Mike.
Yeah.
And I then quickly said, no, don't. Then, fuck it. I'm going to talk about this publicly because this is still weighing in on me. You don't know about this. But about a week ago, I got a ranting couple of voice messages from how's the best way to describe this? Lake Lewis ranting to me about moving on, getting over, hurting, and it was insulting. But then I said he was bland, like he's calling me immature for saying all that. But I was like, if your career got taken away just like that for something you couldn't control, and it caused you all this bodily harm, and your loved ones to worry about you, and a little bout of depression because you feel like you're useless now, how would you feel? How would you feel? And that's, it's stuff like that doesn't help. Stuff like that when, you have to deal with. That was about a day before Christmas.
Jeez.
So it was like I was already going through shit. And I was just sitting there like, why in the world? And of course, that's gone and done. But I didn't forget that. That was kind of a thing. But that's the timeline pretty much. Like that's what's happened and what's happened since and right now. I don't have any regrets. Was my career short? Yes, but I think I made my mark in ring. I think I had a few really decent matches. Probably the best one is the Underground Rules match, which I'm still proud of to this day because I thought that we pushed the envelope and there was a crucifixion and there was and the symbology. Can we talk about that for a second?
Sure. No, go ahead.
That okay. It plays into the like what was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you seen the match?
No.
We should watch it later. But just I won the match, but in it there was a message of like it's like the horror movie trope. When fighting the monster, lest yourself become what you hate. It was going to be I slowly became like him. Not him, but insane.
Right.
That was what it was leading up to. And that would have been fun.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a lot of material that will probably never make the light unless I choose to show it.
Right.
That had it all gone down and had I not gotten injured, we'd be in a completely different spot right now.
Yeah.
But that match, like the symbology at like the finish of the match was like he carried that bat around nonstop. I got the bat. His mask had fallen off and he was pretty much just redneck mayhem again.
Right.
And he was on his knees. And he was looking up at me. At first he said it in the mayhem voice, end it. End it. But then it slowly became his voice. Not redneck mayhem, but Mason's voice.
Right.
And he said, just end it. Sadly, put out of misery. And it was the bat going to his head, and it was the collapse. And it was the monster has been slain, but what's in his head now? And we were kind of doing that before I retire. But I love that match, and I love Mayhem. That guy is just a good old Southern boy, cornbread fed strong, good, sense of humor like anything. Lord knows how many times I've woken up to see just all my messages just like, whew. But that was a match that it was the match he'd always wanted to have, just like from like a storyline perspective. He retired then. He's like, you gave me probably one of the best matches I've ever been in. Thank you. I'm like, no, thank you, actually. But that was my favorite match. I love it. I don't mean to get off track like that. That's just
no, you're
all the love to him. Love him to death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch on?
I mean, I guess well, I mean, I think it's important to mention kind of like people who watch this, like if you and like I'm gonna talk to them. If you think that running a show is easy, then you'd be lying. You'd be definitely lying. Both of us in this call could tell you that it's hard to manage people's emotions, manage their time, manage their body, manage everything going smoothly, and it's a mental health toll. Yes. And this is a reminder to keep your mental health strong. Like, unless it's a professionally produced television show, it shouldn't be like, unless you care about it a lot. Like, by all means, focus on it. But just keep in mind, you are a human being too. You need to rest your mind. So, like, anybody out there like who might be going, because like I'm going through that right now, a lot of heavy like emotional shit. If you feel that way, don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't let it stool in you, because if you do, bad things will happen. And just take a step back. It's all in fate's hands. But actually, we can get off the topic of wrestling and just shoot the shit. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's worth it.
But it's just, whew. I mean, I do YouTube. I don't think people know about that. Don't people? I mean, yeah, because you know about it, but
I do not know about it yet.
It's I can't fucking talk about it. But if any of you happen to find it, I'm sorry. Because it's stupid.
I'm gonna put in the description of the video. So,
should I name it? Should I say should I say the name? Is the name worth saying?
It's up to you, man.
The channel is called Sweet Tasty Balls. There's a picture of 2 balls on it. It's about mostly comedy and gaming and stuff, but you will see videos like other than that. I do stream, which is, it is what it is. Streaming is a double-edged sword, ain't it?
Yes, it is. Yes.
On the one hand, you're playing video games with people and having a good time, but then at the same time, toxic people can come in there and try to ruin it. And it's like, hell, that happened the other night. What's this?
Yeah. It's your YouTube channel.
Oh Lord. Oh my God. Yeah. That is it. That is it.
Yeah, it is.
We do a variety of like, we do a variety of of content, as you can see here. Um,
Mhm.
just it's more of whatever I want to do, but I want to do more content soon because I feel like it's important to do more content that's outside of my comfort zone. Probably the main series on it. You see that banana costume?
Yes.
That's the main thing. It's food review and light reaction, and it's a good stress reliever. And I want to do probably one of those. I'm probably going to film one of those like tomorrow. Actually, it's like you see him. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. But I also just started my own business, and
Yeah.
actually,
Let's talk about that for a little bit.
yeah. So from doing UWA, I found out I've gotten good at editing
Hmm.
and graphic design. So I thought, okay, I'm going to offer my services. And it's not been formally thing, like formally, but it's called Rolling Hills Productions, and I actually finished my first commission today, um,
Nice.
which felt good. But video production and graphic design, um, uh, that's an experience in itself, which it'll probably affect the wrestling in a way, not like in a bad way, but it'll affect I guess like the attention of it,
Right.
because I'm probably going to start crediting the show like because technically it is my production, so it would be under Rolling Hills Productions, but
Right.
um but that's been good. I know I've been making music. Shit,
Yeah.
oh Lord, um that's my main passion. I love wrestling. I've always loved wrestling. Music's my passion. 100%. Like this room is full of instruments right now.
Mhm.
Amps beside my bed. There's chords everywhere. There's guitar pedals on the floor. There's keyboards, and there's a here. Let me get this just to show you. It's a big ass drum machine.
Oh shit. Oh
Oh,
shit.
there's a big
I
ass
wanted.
drum machine. It's crazy, but just working on music. You know, it's what I'm surprised I've not maybe like I've not made it like a theme for the show,
Yeah.
but it's we might have to end this a little early.
Okay.
I think there's just something going on. Um, but you know, be what it be. Be
Yeah.
what it be. Um,
I'd like to thank Jake for joining me in this interview. Um, find him at Sweet Tasty Balls on YouTube. It will be in the description, I promise. This video will go up on Friday. Um,
well then happy Friday. You
yeah,
know,
it should be like the 15th or the 16th or something.
enjoy your weekends. Don't get too drunk. Don't get too stoned, but still fly high. You know.
The weekend or the Friday after that, the CJ interview will come out.
Oh, hooey.
So that'll be fun. Excited for that one.
You get him first.
Yeah.
Good luck. Good luck.
Before we leave, I do want to talk to you about doing our new podcast that we were talking about.
Oh yes.
um,
Long to see you.
I believe I'm going to call it Fantasy Wrestling. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited for that. Basically, if you don't know, it's fantasy booking. It's where we can take different things and different storylines and rebook them or book them in the future, whenever however we see
Do you
fit.
have an idea what the first prompt is?
Yes, I think I told you. The higher power.
Oh, whoa,
The
well.
higher power.
Woo, that was flawed as shit.
Yeah.
Oh God. But
I do want to give you a Jesus Christ, I'm dying.
You okay there,
Hold
bud?
on, let me find it. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm gonna give you a length of time that I think will be good for both of us.
Mm-hmm. What's that?
Fantasy wrestling. We're gonna do
Oh, I'm free
Monday
every day
night.
of the week.
Okay, Monday Night Raw after Judgment Day through the June 7th, 1999 Monday Night Raw. The two, I will send it to you in a text. Those are that is the range that we will be able to book within.
What was it again?
The Monday Night Raw after Judgment Day, I believe that's 98.
Okay.
And then through the June 7th, 1999 Monday Night Raw.
Okay. That's a good length of time.
Yeah.
Oof. Man, I hope they book Chris Daniel. Seriously, though. A lot of people who should have been, could have been, it'll just be what it be.
Yeah, really.
Mm-hmm.
Again, thank you, Jake. Go watch UWA. Go subscribe to UWA. Go subscribe to Sweet Tasty Balls. Also, follow me on Twitch. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And everyone have a good day. Have a good weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Have a good life. Have a good life. And I'll be back next week with
Just exist.
TJ's interview. Exist. Keep existing. We love you.